Today, we are diving into one of the most disturbing and fascinating real-life mysteries in the world, a place hidden among the canals of Zochanoko, a South massive city, a place where hundreds of worn, broken, and grotesque dolls hang from trees, silently staring at visitors with empty eyes. This is not movies, this is not fiction. This is real. This is the island of the dolls, and according to many, it's one of the most haunted places on Earth. So sit back, turn off the lights, and prepare yourself because today we will explore the full story of the island of the dolls, its history, the tragic events that led to its creation, what countless visitors have witnessed, and why the island remains to this day one of the most unsettling locations on the planet. To understand how this place came to be, we first have to go back to the setting. The region of Zochanoko in southern Mexico City. This place is famous for its beautiful canals, remnants of an extensive water transport system built by the X many centuries ago. Today, the canals are a major tourist attraction. Visitors ride brightly colored boats, enjoy food, music, and the scenery of nature and flowers. But hidden deep in this picturesque environment is something very different. One island stands out from all the others. It's not decorated with flowers or colorful art. Instead, it is filled with hundreds of dolls, razor-bit missing limbs, and covered in dirt and cobwebs, hanging from every tree, fence, and structure. Many of their faces are cracked, some are missing their eyes, and they look as if they are standing watching every person who steps foot on this island. This is the island of the dolls, and its disturbing appearance is only the beginning. The real horror lies in the story behind how it came to be. According to widely shared reports and historical accounts, the origin of the island the doll collection begins with a tragic accident in the 1950s. A man named Don Julian left his family and moved to the island, seeking a quiet life away from the society. He worked as a farmer and lived alone, relying on the canals, the water, and the land to survive. One day, as the history goes, Don Julian discovers the body of a young girl who had drowned in the canals near the island. No one knows her name. Some believe she was a local child who had been playing near the water. Others think she might have fallen from a boat passing by. But according to locals and Don Jr. himself, he found her lifeless body and was deeply affected by her death. Very soon after discovering the child's body, Don Julian saw a doll floating in the water, believing it belonged to the drowned child. He took the doll and hung it from a tree as a sign of respect and to honor her spirit. But what happened next is what turned the simple act into one of the Mexico's most chilling legends. Shortly after hanging the first doll, Don Julian claimed he began experiencing strange events. He told people he could hear footsteps in the darkness. He heard whispers among the trees. He believed the spirit of the little girl was relentless and still wandering around the island. In order to appease her and to protect himself, Don Julian started hanging more dolls around the island. He collected them from canals, trash heaps, anywhere he could find discarded dolls. He didn't clean them, he didn't repair them, He simply took them as if he found them and hung them in the trees, walls, doors, and wires everywhere. Over time, the island became completely overcovered in dolls. Some had their arms missing, others are missing their eyes. Some were, headless. He even dismembered certain dolls and attached their parts to other dolls, creating disturbing mixtures that deformed figures, staring down at visitors. What's important to understand is that Don Julian was not doing this for art. He wasn't trying to create a tourist attraction. He truly believed that the dolls will protect him from the spirit of the drowned girl and from other spirits that might exist in the canals. For decades, he continued this ritual, turning the island into a shrine filled with thousands of dolls. As time went on, more people in the region began talking about the strange hermit who lived on an island of dolls. Curious tourists started to visit, and many of them reported unsettling experiences. Some said they heard dolls whispering, others claimed their dolls' eyes followed them as they walked by. There were even reports of people hearing soft laughter coming from the trees. Several visitors described feeling a sudden wave of sadness or fear as soon as they stepped into the island. According to local reports, multiple people refused to continue walking and refused immediately to their boats because of heavy atmosphere. Whether these events were supernatural or simply psychological, there was no doubt the island of the dolls had become a deeply disturbing place. In 2001, after decades of living alone on the island, Don Julian died, and this is where the story takes an even darker turn. According to multiple massive news reports and eyewitness testimonies, Don Julian dwelled in the same place where he had said, the little girl died many years earlier. Some say he died of a heart attack and fell into the water. Others believe something more mysterious was involved. That same spirit he tried to appease for decades had finally taken him. The location of his death, so close to the site of the original tragedy, added more fuel to the legend. Many locals now believe the island contains not one, but two tormented souls, the little girl and the man who tried to desperately to protect himself from her. Today, the island of the dolls is still there and open to visitors brave enough to take the journey. Local boat drivers offer tours to the island, but not all of them are willing to go. Some refuse after sunset. The trip journey takes about 2 hours from the main pier of the amphibian. Once you arrive, there is a grand entrance. No gift shop. There is only silence and dolls everywhere you look. In the trees, inside small huts hanging from wires, there were dolls slowly decaying in the humid air. Over the years, many journalists, paranormal investigators, and television crews have visited the island. Shows that were numerous YouTube explorers have found their experiences there. And many of them report strange scenes, voices, unexplained movements, sudden cold response, and bizarre emotions they could not explain. The island has become a hotspot for personal investigators. Many teams have brought cameras, audio recorders, and thermal sensors to capture any signs of supernatural activity. Some of the most commonly reported experiences include whispering voices. Visitors claim to hear childlike whispers from the trees, door movements. People report dolls moving their heads or arms slightly even when there's no wind. EMF, certain paranormal teams report that magnetic fields that spike in specific areas of the island. Sudden changes in the temperature. Multiple visitors reported sudden drops in temperature while standing near the side of Don Julian's shack. Unexplained feelings. Several people said they felt watched, followed, were overwhelmingly said without any clear reason. While none of these experiences can be scientifically verified, they have helped solidify the island's reputation as one of the most haunted locations in the world. Beyond the paranormal, the Island of the Dolls have become part of Mexican urban legend and popular culture. Local folklore includes stories about dolls coming to life or spirits speaking through them. The island has appeared in documentaries, ghost hunting series, horror podcasts, and countless online lists of the scariest cities on Earth. However, there are also people who see the island as a strange piece of cultural history, and rather than a tourist trap. They view it as a reflection of Mexican spiritual beliefs, especially the respect for the dead and the idea that objects can carry spiritual energy. Every year during the Day of the Dead, some locals bring new dolls or offerings to the island, continuing Don Julian's tradition of honoring the dead. Of course, not everyone believes the island is truly haunted. Skeptics argue that there is no real proof that a girl has ever drowned there. Some believe Don Julian invented the story or imagined it, probably influenced by loneliness and isolation. They also point out that many of these strange sounds visitors hear could be caused by animals, wind, or the cracking of old trees and wood. Another theory is that the dolls were simply Don Julian's way of expressing his inner fears and mental struggles. Rather than protecting himself from ghosts, he might have been using the dolls as a way to cope with loneliness and trauma. But even those who do not believe in the ghosts often admit that there is something unidentifiably unsettling about the island, whether haunted or not. The decaying dolls hanging across the trees create a disturbing atmosphere that affects almost everyone who visits. So, is the island of the dolls truly haunted? Did the spirit of a young girl really possess the dolls and torment Don Julian? Or is this entire legend simply the product of isolation, fear, and human imagination? Ultimately, only one thing is certain: this place exists. The dolls are real, and the island is real, and countless people continue to visit it every year, living with stories that they cannot fully explain. If you ever travel to a massive city and decide to take a trip through the canals of this place, you might find yourself approaching a small island covered in weather dolls. The boat will slow down. You will hear the water gently hitting the wood of the boat, and as you step onto the island, you might feel something watching you. Maybe it's your imagination, or maybe the dolls are still alive with the spirit of something long forgotten. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video.